thank the chair. I thank the witnesses. It's been a great testimony. I want to start off by associating with Congressman Paulus's remarks. I think he's exactly correct. I mean, who here shouldn't be for great schools, no matter what the governance structure? And this idea that money's being siphoned off or compartmentalized or whatever, I think goes to, I think it was the mayor of Cleveland's point. I'm over that question. I'm over it. I mean, if the product of competition is the movement of some funds, you know, I think that, in fact, can be a very healthy thing, ultimately. Competition is a good thing. It's good in every other part of our lives, and to the extent there's competition for the effective and efficient teaching of our greatest asset, which is our children, so be it. In that vein, I would simply, again, state for the record, it's kind of an ongoing debate around here. But the fact is that since 1970, at the federal level, we have increased spending on education 300%. And my data shows that there's been little or no commensurate improvement, however you want to measure improvement. It certainly doesn't match the kind of money we're spending, so I don't think we have a money problem. And if any of you differ with that, I've heard some comments about, oh, we definitely need the money, and I understand that. But if any of you believe, and I like this for the record, that pushing more money at this without change in governance structure, without doing something different like you all are doing, I'd like to know that opinion. Anybody? Let the record reflect no one is taking that.
No,
Mr. Lindsay.
Does there need to be more funding? My answer is for innovative schools, yes, there needs to be more funding because we're limited by the amount of dollars given to charter schools.
But from a macro standpoint.
From a macro standpoint.
Should we increase another 50%? We've already increased funding 300% since 1970.
And I would say for those good organizations, those innovative and effective organizations, if we can get whatever monies there are to them so they can do the work that's proving to be successful, we need to do that. Whether you want to say more dollars or I don't know how to keep dollars away from current groups.
Thank you, Mr. Lindsay. How do you measure success?
How do I measure success?
In your last
Ultimately, it's going to be jobs. And then what's your key to getting kids to jobs? It's going to be literacy skills, college readiness, and what we're moving towards in the Common Core standards. But the ultimate proof of success is are they employable?
Has the charter school concept been around long enough to prove success? I don't know how you define it. Mr. Keegan.
Mr. Chairman, Congressman, absolutely, it's been around long enough to prove success, and I think there's never been a more exciting time to go into public education because of this, because educators are at the helm of this, because they're bringing their own answers. You've got two great examples here of the school leadership that's out there now, and it's providing a different path. So I think in the future, funding ought to be about individual students and follow them to schools that work in the public sector. We ought to be very concerned that there's enough money that's equitably accessed by students regardless of which school they choose, if it's an exceptional school, which is what I think Mr. Lindsay's been saying, that we should be about the businesses of accelerating what is demonstrably excellent out there because we got a lot of demand sitting in the country for it.
Thank you. Anyone else want
Yes, I just want to jump in just quickly.
Yeah.
When the pot of money is what exists, but there needs to be equitable funding for charter schools. Charter schools currently operate on about 80% of what traditional public schools get. It's very seldom that we get equal funding, so that is an issue. The second issue for me, I need to have young people who are not going to live in poverty. So it is not, to me, just a job. I know if and the CMOs that I work with in charter schools are wanting kids to graduate, go to college, because they reduce by 50% the likelihood that their own families will live in poverty. So we have a very high success bar for the schools that we work with.
Excellent. I don't think you're saying anything different than Mr. Lindsay.
Could I also comment?
Mr. Rossman, for the record.
To try and make this real in some sense, in my limited experience, the wonderful teachers and educators that I have the privilege of working with are getting spectacular results, the best results in our state. We have not just closed the achievement gap, we've reversed the achievement gap. and yet our teachers are receiving less than 20%, are working at a 20% discount from teachers in the district. We have needs for our children, extracurriculars, co-curriculars, programming we would love to do, that we just cannot afford the additional staff because of inequitable funding that it would take to do those things. So the dollars are very real.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, my time is expiring. I didn't get to ask the questions that I intended to ask. Thank you.